Ganapathy. Chapter 1. Ganapathy and his personality. Ganapathy is undeniably one of the most favorite gods in Hinduism. Ganesha, as he is fondly called, is also prominent god in Jainism and Buddhism. This cute-looking god with his elephant face and chubby look will surely bring cheer to anyone at first look. He is called by many names. Ganesha, Vinayaka and Vigneshwara are few of his many names. In Tamil, he is referred to as Pillayar. Some experts say the word Pillai may have originated from a root word referring to a young elephant. But the direct meaning of the word Pillai is a child, and in Tamil, when addressing with respect, it becomes Pillayar. The son of the gods Shiva and Parvati is this cute little boy who is very easy to please and is also easily upset, true to the nature of a kid. It is a common thing to pray to Ganesha, which pretty much turns out as a deal that we would offer modakam, a sweet dumpling, his favorite snack, in return for some material favor like to pass in an examination or to get a promotion at work. For some reason, if the offering is delayed or forgotten, Ganesha behaves the same way a child behaves to a broken promise and will ensure the deal is fulfilled. For this reason, he is called Vigneshwara, god of obstacles, who creates obstacles, Vignakarta, and also who destroys them, Vignaharta. Not even the gods were excused for testing his patience. When we refer to various Puranas, the stories of the ancient times, one can see how at some instance a god had prayed to Lord Ganesha. It may sound as if people use him for only material desires to get fulfilled. Well, yes, most of us do. And that is how one starts building a rapport with this divine child to spiritually progress further. But over time, this relationship matures and one's devotion deepens into true bhakti, pure, unconditional, and without any expectation, a state of spiritual perfection. Chapter 2. Origin of Ganapathy worship. Ganapathy or Ganesha literally means the Lord of Gana. Depending on the context, Gana could mean the chants in the Vedas, the sacred scriptures, the gods, or the beasts of Lord Shiva. Historically speaking, the origin of Ganesha worship is not certain, but we believe it to be since time immemorial. The earliest reference to the name Ganapathy occurs in Rig Veda. The hymn goes like this. Ganana antva Ganapatigam havamahe kavim kavinamupamashravastamam jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspata anashranvan votibhisida sadhanam. This hymn means, of all the Gana, you, who is their chief, Ganapathy, to whom we offer our sacrificial oblations, you are the wisest among the wise, and who is in the highest state of fame, the foremost king of the hymns, the Lord of all sacred prayers, Brahmanaspati or Brihaspati. Please come to us on hearing this and grace us by being seated on this sacred altar. Although Ganapathy worship can be traced back to the early Vedic period, where he was invoked as the chief of all Ganas, the term Ganapathy may not have exclusively referred to the deity we know today. In some contexts, it denotes Lord Indra, the leader of the Maruts, or Lord Brihaspati, the teacher of all the gods, and sometimes even Lord Shiva, revered as Pashupati, the lord of all beings. This overlap of meanings has often created ambiguity about the true origins of Ganapathy. In the next chapter, we will explore some clarifications to this conventional understanding. Chapter 3: Unraveling the Origins. According to the Western school of thought, there is uncertainty whether the Rig Veda verse Gananam Tva refers actually to Ganesha as we know him today. And these scholars contend that the god Ganesha we pray now is only a recent introduction to the Hindu fold. Well, it turns out they are not completely wrong. The literal translation of the Rigvedic verse in fact refers to Brahmanaspati or Brihaspati, the lord of all sacred prayers. But having said that, this mantra has almost always been associated with the Ganesha we know, even though the Western scholarly opinion says otherwise. For instance, Chaturvarga Chintamani Dharma Shastra is a work by Hemadri, 13th century CE, cites from the ancient Devi Purana, variously dated, on Ganapathy Vratam, where this exact mantra is used. Another instance can be referred from Amarakosha, 4th century CE, the Sanskrit lexicon, which lists the following synonyms for Ganapathy: Vinayako Vignaraja Dvaimatura Ganadhipaha Api Ekadanta Heramba Lambodara Gajananaha. The verse lists 8 names of Ganesha: Vinayaka, extraordinary leader; Vignaraja, king or lord of obstacles; Dvaimatura, one has 2 mothers, Parvati and Ganga; Ganadhipaha, lord of Gana; Ekadanta, one with 1 tusk; Heramba, protector of the weak; Lambodara, one with a big hanging belly; Gajananaha, one with an elephant face. Similarly, there are quite a few references that consistently describe Ganesha and his attributes as we know him today. Adi Shankaracharya, an expounder of Advaita philosophy, channelized the worship of Ganesha, known as Ganapatyam, as one of the 6 representations of the one formless God. In Atharva Veda, we find references to a deity with the features of an elephant, Hastivarchas. Later, the Taittiriya Aranyaka gives descriptions strikingly similar to the form of Ganesha as we worship him today. In the context of Kundalini Yoga, Ganesha is said to reside in the Mooladhara Chakra, source of all the energies in the body. He is regarded as the primal force governing the flow of all the chakras and thereby guiding and sustaining all life. Archaeological evidence shows that the form of Ganesha as we recognize him today appeared between 1st and 8th century CE, with findings not only in India but also in places like China and Japan. Going further back in time, we see ancient civilizations across the world often used animal forms to express ideas of power, protection, and the sacred. For instance, a bronze strip with a stylized elephant motif was discovered in the Luristan region of western Iran and dated to around 1200 BCE. This artifact is today preserved in the Louvre Museum in Paris. Even earlier, terracotta figurines and masks with animal, possibly elephantine features have been unearthed at the Harappan sites belonging to the Indus Valley civilization around 3300 to 1300 BCE. While these artifacts cannot be taken as definitive evidence of fully formed deity worship, they point to a deep and enduring engagement with elephant symbolism in ritual and sacred contexts across ancient cultures. At first glance, this may appear to suggest that the idea of Ganesha evolved gradually, but this conclusion arises only when we look at the divinity in a limited or literal way. An important point to be noted here is that form and symbolism alone do not create a deity. In the Indian tradition, such symbolic forms are firmly grounded in Shastra, giving rise to well-established deities like Ganapathy, complete with mantra, meaning, and spiritual purpose. When different words carry the same meaning, we call them synonyms. In the same way, when the one absolute reality is referred to by different names and forms, they all still point to the same truth. In Hindu tradition, the association of a mantra with a particular deity is governed by Shastra, the scriptural framework of practice. So, even if a mantra does not literally name a deity, it is used for that deity by design, not by mistake. When we understand this broader context, it becomes clear that Hinduism has always held a single unified understanding of Ganesha, one that did not evolve out of necessity but was expressed through different forms across time. Chapter 4: Ganesha, the Supreme God. Devotion to Lord Ganesha has remained unbroken for several thousands of years, and it continues to grow stronger with every passing age. The love or bhakti is shown in various ways. Among the very many deities in Hinduism, Ganesha is certainly one of the most loved ones for his childlike nature. At a philosophical level, as the scriptures state, Ganesha is indeed the absolute God, the manifestation of the universe. That is why he is associated with the primordial sound Om, the sound of creation, sustenance, and annihilation. It is very interesting to note that the absolute God acts like a child, just like how a parent comes down to the level of a toddler to entertain and play with their children. Let us pay obeisance to Lord Ganesha, who is none other than that Supreme Being. Om Tat Sat.